Ndị be anyị kenekwanụ m unu. Asị m ka ụbọchị nketa mara na anyị na mma. Anyị si ka nke onye chikwelu ya zelụkwa. Anyị dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Eastern News 24 ka anyị si were wetara onye bụ ozi. Unu je gị n'ugbu a n'iru akwụkwọ gbasata maka ya bụ ife na-ada na-akpọtụ na the old Eastern region ka anyị na-akpọ Biafra land, and ife na-eme na mba ụwa dị iche iche, and ife na-eme n'obodo a. Alright, ozi eji maka ya wee bịa bụ according to the Biafran activist weta ya bụ ozi as he quote. Breaking news: Nigerian government panic as Biafrans win big. Igbos, the truth is finally out. The real reason why they are afraid of Igbo Presidency. Hear the news in details. Very important update. Kaijimakia, we benirakwono bosse urutin keta. Biko, pay attention to this clip. Kaijimakia, we benirakwo. Diki yegia bife. Achom kiliyatia. Nifa. This one of the Biafran activists will tell I. Over to you, sir.
You know, I've been taking a careful look at the drama unfolding regarding the race for the 2027 presidential election. And it appears somehow unspoken, unwritten, there is a deliberate agreement that an Igbo man should not be president of this country. You know, I've asked this question some time ago and I said, is there a place where an agreement was reached that look, an Igbo man should not be president? Because when you look at the whole scenarios from the comment made by Sheikh Jingir, Yaya Jingir, saying that it was Peter Obi that unalived Saldana, and then if you watch the deliberate ploy of the cabal to inject Goodluck Jonathan into the race so as to split the vote, even though Peter Obi has made it simple by telling you that I'm going to run one term, Atiku is also saying I'm going to run one term. Now, I don't want to talk about Atiku. I really don't want to dwell on Atiku because the respect I have for Atiku, the love I have for him, it's gradually waning. In Atiku, I see a man that sees the world around himself and his ambition. At one point in PDP, you said you're not going to run if the ticket is zoned to the southeast. That was a lie. Because right now, a Wike is no longer in ADC. You know, let me use this opportunity again to talk to our politicians from the south. It appears anytime they want to, debunk these statements. And I don't want to talk about Rotimi Amechi because that one to me has always been a sellout for a very long time ago. Imagine a Rotimi Amechi also thinking that the last video I saw, he was talking about popularity, comparing his popularity and Peter Obi. You know, we've become so corrupt. We've become so corrupt to the extent that we have accepted corruption as a way of life. So much so that when somebody comes and say, I am not corrupt, it's really very difficult for people to say, we do have people that are not corrupt. When somebody says, I'm going to do one term, knowing fully well that the South has an extra one term to go based on the morality of the rotation, you said no, it's not like because you don't trust him. Now because you are sure that constitutionally Jonathan has only one term, you trust a Jonathan more because you know that if you are in the same position as Peter Obi, you will turn around and do otherwise. You see, Nigeria is a complex dynamic that if you try to wrap your head around it, you might just get some sort of migraine. That's why they said, if they explain Nigeria to you and you say you understand them, the best way explain them to you, not explain them well. So who is afraid of an Igbo president or an Igbo presidency? Who is afraid? I'll tell you the people that are afraid of an Igbo presidency. You know, Nigeria seems to be a huddle, or a relay that the baton of leadership is somehow agreed that it will be exchanged by the Northwest and Southwest. Northwest rule, when you say, okay, it's turn of the South, is southwest. It's turn of the north, northwest. It's turn of the south, southwest. This nonsense has been going on for a very long time, and because we've kept quiet and looked the other way, they think it has come to stay. No. Now, I am very sure that a bit of this government will upset that devilish system that suggests some ethnicities are superior to other ethnicities, that suggests power must be rotated between two regions, northwest and southwest. I know very well that a country as big as Nigeria cannot have just one seaport as a gateway of goods entering the country just in Lagos alone. No. I know that a P2B will definitely, that I'm very sure, will definitely open the Calabar and Warri seaports. Definitely, I'm sure about that. And people who have been so greedy and selfish will not want that to happen. Those who are making tons of money from Californium, from the mineral resources in the north, trying to, sustain the unrest in the north so that monies will be voted to them every day. A corrupted military, a corrupted security outfit, and all these things will be changed. Our judiciaries will be reformed. INEC will be, in fact, there are so many thieves in so many places that they are fighting to enable the system that will sustain their thievery. Their corrupt attitude, their nefarious corrupt attitude, they want the system to remain so that they continue doing what they are doing. You got me? So, I'm not saying an Igbo presidency based on ethnicity will change everything. But hey, we had a civil war where we said there was no victor and there was no vanquished. How come it appears some people have agreed that Igbos in Nigeria should remain vanquished? That's what this thing is all about. If they are Nigerians, then they have the same right. If they are Nigerians, they have the same right every Nigerian has. So why is there some sort of concerted effort to make sure that they are reduced to spectators in a country that they carry your passport? Getting all forms of excuse that they will break. If Nigeria is working, nobody's going to talk about Biafra. If Nigeria is fair and just to everybody, nobody's going to talk about secession. So this idea that an Igbo presidency will break Nigeria apart, this is not a country they keep together the way it is. Is this a country that ordinarily they should keep together? Where people steal billions of naira and they are not jailed, yet somebody steal 2 million, he's jailed. Very recently, somebody just fought in an aircraft, she's jailed. But somebody who disrupted a whole operation of the air transport is free at home. You see, we cannot create this double standard. It has to take somebody with a view of making things work to become president. Not people who will grab and snatch and run away with ballots. Not criminals parading themselves as strategists only to be president and sustain the same corruption empire. We don't want it. So who is afraid of an Igbo presidency? I've heard the word Igbophobia, and I thought it was just a mere word that was just coined, but it really does exist. It does exist because I was a victim too. Just hating the people because everybody's hating make me self-hate. No. If you don't want them to be part of this country, then let them go. And if they go, we too will go. Others will go, and then those who claim they own Nigeria come and rule the country one. It's a pity that this country, we are inhuman. Well, 2027 will be a defining moment for this country. To be a defining moment. Whether we are going to be one, 2027 will decide it. Whether there are some people who believe that this country, they own it, they decide what and where and how the country should be, we will know. We will know. But we assure you, especially, let me use the final part of this video to speak to INEC. If you think what you did in 2023, you can repeat it again, I can assure you that the consequences that will meet any form of rigging, any form of manipulation, better fly your children out of this country. You better fly your children out of this country, or your loved one, anybody related to you. And so with the judiciary. If you know you are going to do those things you did where you say cameras should not point at you, better fly your loved one, because you're going to set this country ablaze. We are not asking for anything more. We are just asking for things to be done right. How bad is that? At least that is our fundamental human right. That's our fundamental right as citizens, for government to provide for us what is right and just. Abi not be so?
You know, I've been looking at events leading to the 2027 general election. And I must say that things are happening faster and earlier than we have anticipated. Before now, election campaigns or election anxieties would have started long before now, but it appears the mischief and greed, in fact, the whole narrative leading to the 2027 election has a twisted perspective or a twisted irony associated with it. And I will need you to be patient and hear me out. Everything I'm going to say is allegedly, and they might be a figment of my own imagination, but hey, perhaps if you pay a close attention, you might just understand where I'm coming from, right? Okay. Now, we've always said Islamization Nigeria. There are people bent on Islamizing Nigeria. So I've been thinking, suppose we are describing the narrative using the wrong words. Suppose it is actually a Fulanization agenda and not an Islamization agenda. Islam to me is just like a peg. You know, when you wash your clothes and you anticipate there's going to be wind, you use peg to hold your clothes on the line so that the winds does not take your clothes away. Suppose Islam is merely a peg that is aimed at holding you together so that the wind does not take your ideology away. You see, the most difficult thing to re-educate is an ideology. Now, suppose we replace the idea or the apprehension that there are people that want to Islamize Nigeria to there are people that want to Fulanize Nigeria. And by Fulanizing is by redirecting the instrument of power to the hands of the Fulanis. Now, let me take you to a small journey. Part of this journey I had described before. During Jonathan and Buhari, remember the infamous statement that the dogs and the baboons will be soaked in blood. And Jonathan, at that time, Southwest media have already described him as a weak, drunkard, sheep, and all the negative narrative. I don't want to go back so that I don't elongate this video longer than it is necessary. But we all know, right? Okay. Then Buhari came into power. Remember all the cattle ranch, all the ruga, all the livestock, whatever, and all the nomenclatures invented just to establish the Fulani dominance in Nigeria. I will still not forget a particular video I saw where Buhari opened the borders for myriads of Fulani indigenous, non-skilled workers, non-skilled individuals that trooped into Nigeria. Where are they? There was a time that we had them on the streets, running after you, using their children to run after you, dragging your clothes to give them money. Suddenly, they have disappeared. No, they have not disappeared. They've blended in perfectly with you. Now, the whole idea of a Fulanization is to put Nigeria in a place where they can command and control. Now, let us leave history and come to the present situation we have. You know, I've been asking myself, Atiku and Rufai, what game are they really playing? Because I'm made to be aware that Atiku and Rufai met Buhari before he passed on. What was it they discussed? The whole idea of setting up this coalition, what's the idea? Now, when you add that to the fact that people are wooing Jonathan to come and to contest for the presidency, of course, Jonathan will not win. And if Jonathan is going to come across this video, let me just tell him, Jonathan, you will not win. Everything is just aimed at split. You know, sometimes I wonder. I hope it's a mere rumor, because Jonathan has not. I think with the viral nature of this news, I believe if it's a lie, Jonathan should have come to debunk it. But for Jonathan to remain silent, that means there may be an element of truth to it. But if it is truth, I would advise Jonathan not to do it, because that will mean that I don't even know the right word to describe that. That would mean we are so cheap. You have finished. Your time has come and has gone. Be a statesman that you are. You are respected all over the world. Don't come and risk being reduced by contesting an election that you are not guaranteed to win. And why is it that the northern cabal will always use us in the south to destroy ourselves? Why is it that they don't want Obi? I will tell you for free. The Fulani cabal knows that a Peter Obi will upset the whole system, will change the whole formula, everything about what held the Fulani supreme. He will change it. I can assure you. When a Fulani man is running after a Southern and come and be a president, Amechi, come and be a president, good luck, come and be a president, they are running after those they can control. If I tell you the main reason why they don't want Peter Obi, it's not because he's an Igbo man. Well, that may be there, but that is not the main reason. The main reason is that if this man becomes president, we can't control him. That is just it. We can't control. For those who are saying Peter Obi is weak. No. If you look at the how do I put it? The urgency with which they want power to come back to the north after spending just 2 years, you could see. Look, I'm going to say something that most Tinubu supporters may be happy that, hey, after all, what has said is, look, if not for Tinubu's attitude and his corrupt tendencies and his criminal nature, I want to say Tinubu understand. Tinubu is playing back every game the Fulanis have played in Nigeria. He's playing back everything. In fact, he's playing it back better. But the only problem is that he didn't carry everybody along. He has Yorubanized the whole agenda. Assuming he carried everybody along, you know, for they behind that 100%. But he made it a Yoruba thing, which is more or less like a Yoruba version of the Fulani agenda. And we don't want any tribal agenda in Nigeria. So, what is happening is that a Peter Obi is the biggest cog in the wheel of the agenda of the Fulani man. Even those our Hausa brothers that are saying that they've been reawakened, they are not really, they realize, yes, that the Fulani, this merger with Fulanis have not benefited us. Time to revolt against this union. But the biases they've sown in your heads over the years, hate the Igbos, hate the Christians, part of it are still there. So it will do well for you to, obliterate or delete those biases. Then we'll be sure that truly you have been awakened. But right now, if there's any meeting that has been made to say that an Igbo man will not be president, you let us know so that we'll keep our peace. Because obviously we can't continue the way we are. Just because somebody belongs to a certain region, a certain ethnicity, a certain religion, It doesn't matter if he has all the good underpinnings to turn this country around and say, no, we should not vote for him. We should vote for thieves and criminals because they belong to the acceptable tribe, the acceptable regions, the acceptable religion. No, Nigeria cannot work like that. A Fulani man ruled this country for 8 years. It is sheer preposterously it is a sheer preposterous effrontery. I sabi this English. It is a sheer preposterous effrontery for another Fulani man to be showing his attention after 2 years. Now I want to. There must be something there. There must be something. And if you are a Nigerian, you are, to be very frank, all those kicking against Peter Obi, yes, I'm not happy, but I'm not angry with you. You are just a victim of a narrative that have shaped your mind over the years to hate a certain tribe. You're just a victim. Your mind is a victim of narratives shared to you that, Igbos will break this country. I will not allow it. You're just a victim. So with that, I feel pity for you. But for me, I want a country where I can fill my car, I can go to the market and feed my family. I don't necessarily want anything from the government except a good life. A leader that can bring policies that I can physically see that is transforming this country. So what do you want? For us to continue in this feeding and eating on propaganda that bears no physical development?
Ndị be anyị ngwadalụ ole nenu dịka unu si wee na-esola n'iru akwụkwọ n'ihe nke anyị na-eme na Eastern News 24. Ka efi were ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile nọ n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Ka efi wee ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife drọpụrụ ife iche n'ụdị nke gị ngwa nke mesịa na ụmụnne m.